The Mint 400 is like the Baja 1000 of the States races. One of the races we always want to race. We just really like the name, the nostalgia of the Mint 400. Going through Fremont Street, like under the canopies, driving the race trucks for tech contingency, is just awesome. Being able to drive the trophy truck down the boulevard, in between all the hotels. The streets are lined with people that have no idea what's going on. It's really cool and awesome to do, but also I think it's rad that it opens up the eyes to a lot more people that don't know what they're looking at. To me, it just brings more eyes to our sport, which is always good for us in the long run. Qualifying went all right. Plan was to go out there and win. Just lay down the fast time we can and start first. Wasn't that fast qualifying, made a couple of mistakes, and I think we ended up 7th. Yeah, I got a very weird penalty. It's coming around a corner and we were sliding pretty good, and it kind of like a rut caught the front wheel and flipped us up and shot us up onto a line that was actually cut a corner. And we got a penalty for unintentional course cutting. Didn't gain nothing, I didn't do very good, so I think it bumped us back to 9th. Definitely qualifying didn't go my way like I wanted it to. Yeah, so after my penalty in qualifying, that put me side by side with BJ Baldwin again for the 2nd year in a row. All the hype about a rematch after our little door-to-door banging epic race last year. Sitting at the start line was all I wanted to do was beat him. Really didn't think we had a chance. I kept teasing him like, you got me. Like, we were door-to-door with my race engine last year. This year I had our pump gas motor because we were going to leave that Monday to go pre-running. In the truck we're racing, so I was like, nah, you got me, don't worry about it. So we're up on the line and light turns green. I stand on the gas and I think he was taking a nap on the start line. So we jumped him pretty hard off the start line. I was like, all right, we got it. Did our first U-turn, and I think he was upset with me. So I got a nice pump from the rear, shot me up over the berm. Yes, it was intentional. I don't care what anyone says. Roles reverse, I would have done the same thing. It's racing. I would have much rather maybe dive underneath me and door me, and we could have banged all the way around, but now it is what it is. So now we're gonna go for round 3. When he bumped me and shot me over the berm, at that point I was pissed. I'm trying to catch him back as hard as I can. Stayed with him most of the time, like lost his dust, crossed the lake bed, got his dust back in the whoops. And like we just tailed with his dust a little bit when we were going down the shooting range. I could see we made the U-turn, and then just like last year, ended up getting him on the first lap. This year he was pulled over the flat, so it wasn't catastrophic. We were dust free from there for the rest of the first lap. Going from the quarry to the pavement, pretty decent straightaway to get up to quite a bit of speed, and then you're coming off loose gravel, spill over onto the asphalt, and then you got a 90-degree corner. I take that approach really slow. I usually drop the left front in the dirt, and there's actually like some pavement that kind of hooks, so you might get an inner sidewall flat, but I'd rather do that than spin out and make Tiba's videos. They put like a 10-foot berm, they still pull over the top. The best was this Sproul and Jones. I take it really slow because I don't want to spin out there and hit the berm, tip the truck over, or just look stupid, really. End of lap 1, we were having issues. We were having fuel delivery issues. I thought I noticed it kind of early on. I thought maybe we had a fuel pump going out. It's about mile 21 it started. So we were just kind of maintaining it. And then when it was on fuel pump 2, I'm like, it's impossible 2 fuel pumps go out. Like it's 1, maybe 2, like no way. We had made a call into the pits and asked the boys to call Mark over at Joe Gibbs Racing and asked him how bad it was gonna hurt the engine running it like this. He immediately answered, very, very bad. Do not do that, you're gonna hurt the engine. Made it over to pit A on the second lap where Cole and Sean, the boys, were at. Pulled the inspection plates off, and Gene stuck his hand down there and was feeling around and pulled out like just a handful of, looked like gummy worms. Blue gummy worms from the dye in the fuel, and I was like, what the heck is that? Dug in again, got another handful. Did that quite a few times, and like, dude, this isn't making sense. And we just unfortunately had to make the executive decision that stuff in the fuel cell is never going to clean itself out, and it's just, you're not going to be able to keep going, because if it gets up in there into the pumps and the filters and the lines, it's just going to clog everything up. So rather than hurt the engine and or get stuck out in the middle of the desert, we unfortunately had to call it quits at pit 1 on the second lap. I have never seen anything like the stuff we pulled out of the fuel cell at the time. Few people were saying, oh, it looks like silicone, looks like silicone. Like, dude, no, there's no way we have silicone in our fuel cell. No one puts silicone in a fuel cell. We were just stumped. Got a lot of guys that have been there for a long time. Henry, Gene, just Mark. I was calling everyone like, have you seen this? Like, no. And everyone just kept saying, looks like silicone. I'm like, dude, it's not silicone. Silicone doesn't go in our fuel cell. Like, so, you know, a couple people said sabotage. We're like, dude, no way, not in this industry. No one does that stuff, dude. A few days later, I get a call from someone. We'll leave everything anonymous. That serviced our fuel cell last year, and he's just asking me questions like, hey, I saw what was in your fuel cell. Like, how'd you find that? You know, routine maintenance, or, you know, like, no, it actually cost us the mint, dude. Clogged all the fuel mats and stuff. And he's like, oh man. I'm like, what, dude? Like, what's going on? I tried something inside there, just foam, inside foam, and then the manifolds go down and hold the fuel mats. There's another piece of foam that they like kind of canoe out. And he told me that he tried a high grade silicone in there to glue that piece back in. I was like, wait, what? Like, I was shocked, but damage was done. We were super bummed, but I thanked him for owning up and calling me and letting me know, answering our question rather than just sitting there just scratching their heads trying to figure it out. Getting super bummed to lose the race, but just stoked that he actually just called. And a lot of people don't man up in this industry. I'm sure in a lot of industries, and so I don't know, never seen that, I don't know, but so it's kind of rad that I applaud him for calling and admitting it, and just answering questions our end, so we didn't try something out. We were checking the other truck before we went to Mexico, so it's cool to get an answer and have a solid solution to what problem we had at the Mint. Goal this year going into San Felipe is we want a championship. We want the #1 plate. It's the ultimate goal in racing. It is not easy at all to compete at the top level. There's too many fast guys. I mean, I don't even want to say names because I want to name them all. I don't want to single one out, but the top 15 to top 20 guys, they're insane. The level of talent and preparation and everything that these people have up there, it's probably the hardest it's been in a long, long time to compete at the top level going for the overall. San Felipe, we brought our Mason all-wheel drive truck. I think it's almost impossible to win a two-wheel drive. Almost impossible. I still like our two-wheel drive trucks, but just the courses down there are so sandy, technical, and just all top 15 of the fastest dudes in the world have the all-wheel drive. So we bring all-wheel drive down to be on a level playing field with them. Game plan coming into San Felipe was Kevin was going to qualify and do the whole race. Kevin got done with the practice lap and was super stoked on the course, so he was really amped to go down there and lay down a heater and put that thing on the pole. Kevin's driving style during qualifying, wide open. There's a lot of guys that aren't good qualifiers. They can't flip that switch in 5 miles and just drive 110% for 5 miles and get that good qualifying number. Kevin knows what it takes to qualify first and has no problem driving that way. I was pumped for him when he got to the finish line. Ran up to him like, dude, that was awesome. He's like, what did it just look? I'm like, dude, it looked like you were having fun. Like the one corner I could see, he was coming in really hot. He kind of like threw it up and then got it gathered up. Cost him, I think, looked like a couple seconds, but other than that, he said the run was clean and just solid. They just hammered down on that course. When the results came out, they ended up doing pretty good. I think ended up 7th, not too far off. You can pretty much set your pace off of what you're doing right there because you're in the group of very fast drivers. I guess he stuffed it pretty hard, some dirt over the hood, and was completely blind by his own dust. We ended up taking a look under the front of the truck and saw that there was a buckled A-arm. We had one here in the shop, but we were all down there. If anyone would have an arm, it'd be Luke. So I walked over and asked Luke if he had an arm that we could borrow. I'll bring him one down the previous morning so he has a spare for the race. The only arm they had was the passenger front. Mark is actually pretty funny. Mark was just laughing and making jokes. He's like, "Who needs this, the big guy?" Yeah. So he's we were quite a ways away. Mark's like, "I'm only gonna let you borrow this if I get to carry it to him." All right, Mark threw it up on his shoulder and walked it all the way over to him, and it was just pretty funny just watching them exchange about getting the arm. But huge thanks to Luke for letting us borrow that arm so I didn't have to work Friday night. Truck looked good, some vacuuming and some air blowing all the dirt that was in it after stuffing a few holes. But yeah, everything else was good, and we were ready to take on San Felipe at race day. Race morning, everything was great. Kevin was super stoked. He was happy to start 7th. Just everything was good at the start line. We started heading north to our first pit and heard flat, mile 4, left rear. Like, what happened? He's like, well, I was going down. He's all, stupidest flat ever. I was going down the graded road in town and I got a humongous bug right on my shield. I couldn't see nothing, blood and guts. So he said right when he reached up to start wiping it, he heard rock left and boom, it just tagged it and had to pull over and change it. Lost 1 position, I believe, to Walser. Kept cruising up, watching him go by 40. Took a splash, like 85. We came by behind Walser and then it was Lofton and Bryce. And then we took off to head out to mile 167. Everything was going good, just kept clicking off mile markers. And then end of the leg bed, heard that they had lost first and second gear and had a gnarly vibration. Dude, what the heck, you know, we didn't know. So, are you gonna get it to us? Yeah, they're gonna get it to us. So there was reported front diff, reported trans, so like, just get the truck to us. They yelled me over the window and noticed that trans main pressure started going down. That means debris, something's going up inside and clogging some of the ports. Kevin came, sat down beside me and he's like, what do you think? Can we put a trans in and keep going? I said, absolutely. You want a championship? You cannot win a championship with a DNF. A bunch of us started pulling the transmission showed up, put it back together. It took quite a while and Prudy was already finished. At that point the name of the game wasn't winning, the name of the game was finishing. Ended up getting the trans back in and I did a quick run around the lake bed real fast and told Kevin it's good to go. I jumped in and I got on the radio and said, sorry, it's not the result we want, but go out there and have some fun, boss. And he said, 10-4, see you at the finish. Everything was going good. He's cruising along. We're way down, so just cruising, having fun, getting some more seat time in the truck, some more mileage on the parts, just trying to learn more stuff. This truck is still relatively new to us. After the whole team came together and got the trans back in the truck and Kevin took off, the morale was back up. Not for a win, but just, I think just because we all worked together so awesomely, and then the morale was up to get the truck to finish line. Rather than tuck our tail between our legs, throw it on the trailer 160 miles in and go home, we all came together, got the truck together, got to the finish line, and just seeing everyone, the joy on everyone's face, being at the finish line together again, brought smiles all our face and made it all worth it. Just, I think we ended up 20th place, but at that point, someone from the outside probably would have thought we won. Good time sitting the finish line, BSing, listening to Kevin's stories. He gets there and he's super amped, and he's telling us the story. He's like, yeah, just going down this great road, I just, boom. And it felt like the truck was flying like this through the air. And like, all I remember is saying, please land straight, please land straight, please land straight. As the story kept going, he's like, yeah, it was just insane. I was doing like 128 and it just hit it, soaked it up. And he's like, it probably wasn't even like that, but it felt like that. He's all, I was blinded. Like with this, and he just kept saying, I hope it goes straight, hope it goes straight. Ask the helicopter if they saw it. Ask Andrew if he filmed it. And everyone's like, no, we didn't film it. He's like, oh, it was cool. And then a couple days later, of course, someone put it on the internet, and it was pretty epic. Yeah, our results may say we got 20th, but there's a clip of Kevin doing 128 into that sky wheelie. So 20th in the race, but I believe #1 in the world of the internet. She was King Shocks, baby, soaked it up, landed smooth, and kept going straight.